And public relations. We talked about the two of these. I'm skipping one for a reason. 3 and 5, we talked about maybe merging the two. Am I correct?
Well, I think you had asked me to rework the 3.1 in, as it relates to the recommendations that came from the CAC, because we already had 2 recommendations from the CAC.
Yes. Can you read it aloud?
And so what I wrote was, the board will follow through on the Citizen Advisory Committee's recommendation to dedicate district resources towards a centralized, consistent, and professional PR and community relations effort. That's coming really directly from what the CAC recommended.
That pretty much incorporates number 5.
And part of the commitment when we formed the CAC was that the board would follow through on their recommendations.
Fantastic.
As they felt it was appropriate.
Mrs. Green?
The only problem I have with that is it seems like it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to hire a professional PR firm. That's what it sounded like.
I completely disagree with you on that. And in fact, as far as the CAC is concerned, they specifically wrote it in such a way that that would not be the immediate assumption. They wrote that they wanted us to dedicate district resources. That does not in any way indicate that we would be hiring an outside PR firm. That may be the way we decide to go, I don't know.
Could you read it again? Because the word professional in there gave me that impression.
Professional with a small p. They want, in other words, it should be a dedicated professional working on it, not a volunteer, not a student. It needs to be a consistent professional effort.
So that means hiring a person
No,
in-house?
it does not.
No,
It
could
may
be
or may
some-
not mean that.
yeah, it could mean something as simply as me assigning or directing a
Exactly.
particular administrator on board to handle these duties, or to take care of them myself, or
I cannot begin to tell you how sensitive to the fact that we're strapped for cash and can't go out and spend money on new staff members. The CAC is extremely sensitive to that, and that is not their intent.
Okay,
I
so
can
could you
guarantee
just
you
read
that.
it again for me, please? All right.
The board will follow through on the CAC's recommendation to dedicate district resources towards a centralized, consistent, and professional PR and community relations effort.
Okay.
I will incorporate, yes?
Do we even need the board will follow through on CAC recommendations, or just the board will?
No, I like that in there because they've done good work and I sort of want to see them in the goal,
Okay,
if that's all right.
I'm okay.
All right.
So what if we decide not to, though?
Then we
Is that
feel
not
like,
To what?
Not to follow through on their recommendations?
then we
Then we
don't
failed
achieve
the
that
goal.
goal.
Yeah. I'd feel more comfortable if the word PR weren't in there.
I think that's part of the
That was one
goal.
of their recommendations.
Public
I mean, I
relations
thought
or
they-
community,
When they made their presentation?
Community relations, professional and consistent community relations and communications efforts. I mean, if you want to just say community relations or communications, I suppose that would be
that would make me feel more comfortable, because then,
a consistent
I
and
like the word
professional
P-
community relations effort.
I don't want to pull it out because PR is different from community relations. And, you know, I'm reading this policy a little bit differently, maybe because my time on the board. I am starting to see a more consistent, professional approach toward public relations and dealing with the media. In the past, it's been a little haphazard and a little bit random. And so I see the word professional as we're going to approach it as a professional would, as a, you know,
Right.
professionally. And so I think it's very important that we continue to do so, which is why I'd like to see it in our goal.
And part of their, part of the recommendation, and I mean, we can add this in if you want, is that it's, the effort is to ensure that all media outlets hear about positive achievements, accomplishments, successes, and other events that occur in the district.
Allow me to type this up for next time, see it in its entirety, and we can discuss or just vote up or down. Is that all right if we table that discussion for now?